Alright guys, I've been out here brainstorming for hours. Sorry. I made a new cross member here. It's going to have dual micro servos just like I did on the back. I've made a cross member here out of servo horns after I welded on these uprights. And just threw like a rod link piece in between them and a spacer so it fits nice and really snug through here. And this is where my servos are going to mount on the bottom. I've got to come back and clean up the holes a little bit on the uprights so everything lines up a little bit better. And yeah, then we'll start mounting the servo and seeing what we're going to do on the top half. I don't have my shocks. I made these stand ends right now just from some rod ends and a piece of connecting. I ordered them a while ago and they didn't ship them till Friday. It was supposed to have been here Saturday, so I based them off the length of the rear shocks. They are the King Hauler shocks that I ordered. They're the Tamiya Grand Hauler semi-truck shocks. So those are the same length, so we'll just go with that, and then once they get here we can swap them out and hopefully they all still work. Front mount, I was planning on doing something else on top, but I mean they're solid, so I'm not gonna mess with it. I did a test and I adjusted the servo horns to fit. I don't have any screws in them yet since I'm gonna have to take all this apart, put shocks on. It's tight up there, but the steering still clears everything, and I've just got a mess of wires. So I've got the front and the rear with another Y adapter, so they're all through the auxiliary channel, so hopefully one switch to rule them all. So let's plug it in, turn on the controller, and that one's backwards. Alright. It's just starting to get confusing. Well, shoot. I need more channels. I guess I can switch the reverser on the front to the other side. I don't know. This is getting complicated. So I flopped the front. I had the inline reverser thing. I flipped that to the other side. So now everything's jiving on the same wavelength. I've got it up now. It's picking that one up a little bit. Still need some tweaking. Yeah, so my front mount is moving a little bit. Let me show you what's going on up there. I pushed it down a minute ago when it was off, and my cross member here swivels back. So I am going to have to put something across the top here to hold these to the cross member. And I also hooked up the steering just to make sure it all cleared and everything. I wish I had the shocks. It's going to be a pain in the butt because I got to take the whole entire front suspension off to take the rods off to swap out the shocks. So, oh well. But yeah, this thing is wild. I really want to see what it looks like with the body because I'm concerned about the ride height and how much travel and stuff we're going to get. If I can get the body on with all these wires hanging out. Alright, let me plug in the battery. See what happens. So, we've got steering. Everything jiving good there. Up. Pretty good ride height. Goes up evenly. Back goes down a little quicker. Hoping it doesn't have some of the... will set a little easier in the front with the shocks as opposed to those stiff links I've got in it. So now all we got to do is figure out how to cram a motor and stuff in here and hide all this mess of wiring. So all I did, I cut this piece of copper. I think it's just sheet metal, but it's copper colored, copper tinted. I just figured it was a little bit more flexible than what I had. That ought to be enough to keep it from rocking the whole thing back. If it's not, I still can add something across here to those and maybe tie it down into the other cross member. But I'm about to wrap this one up. You can see I've got my R4 transmission just kind of sitting in there. All this wiring and all this stuff, I'm afraid I'm losing interior space because I still put a motor up there, then the ESC receiver, and where's the battery gonna go, you know? So I'm having thoughts about putting a roof on the car. It has the I cut it out because the print grain was a little too serious, but I've thought about making like an actual original style canvas top for it. That way I have some place to hide stuff. And if I go that route, then I might change what transmission I'm going to use. Because this R4 I bought for the gasser build. And I still don't have an electric motor. I haven't decided what I want to run in the gasser yet. So I'm not going to put it all together and then have to take that V8 all apart again. So I figured I'd just use it in here to mock it up. So I don't know. I gotta make a decision on that. But for now, we've got it working. Once I get the shocks in, I'll add those, and hopefully everything still jives right. I'm happy with the lift. I'm happy with the speed of the suspension. I don't think it's too fast or too slow. It is a little noisy, but it's just the nature of these little cheap Metal Gear servos. They're pretty wonky. But anyways, I appreciate you guys following along, and be sure to check me out on Instagram and Facebook. It's RC Everyday. I've got an actual Facebook business page now. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.